Hello Aries, welcome to my channel. Thank you so very much for joining me for your October 2023 Tarotscope. It is an absolute pleasure and such a blessing to be here with you. This is a collective reading, not a personal reading, so please only take what resonates with you and leave the rest. In the description box below, you will find links to all sorts of goodies, including my social media pages and information on personal readings or donations if that is something that you would like to explore. There's also a timestamp if you would like to jump to the start of your reading. Now, October is a universal 8-month, which is a energy of renewal and a reminder that all things in life are connected to the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. This is calling us to focus on universal connectedness and collective humanity. It is also an energy of self-empowerment that pulls us toward expansion, growth, and divine compassion. So this is what we are going to be exploring for this month's Tarotscope. We're going to be looking at the overall energy, what is coming to an end, what is being rebirthed, renewed, or is beginning, and getting some wisdom that will best support healing, growth, and evolution in your journey. So let's dive in, Aries, and see what is coming in for you. Please, Father, Mother, Life, Universe, spirits, guides, angels, our cosmic team, our ancestors, our higher selves, tell us about the overall energy of October 2023 for Aries. What is the overall energy of October? Thank you. What is coming to an end for Aries, please? What is coming to an end for Aries? Okay, thank you. What is being rebirthed, renewed, or is beginning for Aries? Thank you. And what is the wisdom that will best support? Thank you. Tell us more, please, about the overall energy of October 2023 for Aries. Okay, thank you. Tell us more about what is coming to an end for Aries this month. Tell us more, please, about what is coming to an end. Okay, thank you. And how would we like to? Yes. All right, there's what's being rebirthed. Thank you. And tell the wisdom. Thank you. We do have lots of cards we're using for this month's Tarotscope, so I do appreciate your patience. Tell us more about the overall energy, please. Okay. Tell us more, please, about what is coming to an end for Aries. Tell us more, please, about what is coming to an end for Aries this month. Thank you. Tell us more, please, about what is being rebirthed, renewed, or is beginning for Aries this month. Thank you. Tell us more about the wisdom, please, that will best support healing, growth, and evolution for Aries. This one right here. Thank you. Tell us more, please. Anything we may have missed or need to know about the overall energy for Aries in October 2023. Anything we need to know or may have missed. All right. That's kind of a lot. Oh, okay. It's like, take it. What is being rebirthed, renewed, or is beginning? Anything we need to know or may have missed for Aries, please. Anything we need to know or may have missed for Aries in regards to what is being rebirthed, renewed, or is beginning for them, please. I just heard the number 12. That may be significant for someone. It could be a birthday, part of a phone number, an address, or it may be an important number for someone. Thank you. And anything we need to know or may have missed for Aries and the wisdom that will best support healing, growth, and evolution in their journey, please. Anything we need to know, or that's kind of a lot. Let's try that again. Nice, clear message, please. Anything we need to know. Thank you. Okay, let's dive in, Aries. So the overall energy for you for October is the initiation, rite of passage, crossing the threshold. I do feel like you are at this point, and it may go without saying, but I feel like you're at this kind of crossroads. I do feel, or am seeing, what appears to be two different paths, and one of them, it's interesting the way it's being shown to me, because one of them looks significantly darker than the other, and I do feel that there is this energy of kind of taking the path that is less traveled, or taking the path that feels comfortable, right? So the path that is, let's say, a little bit darker, I feel is the one that is less traveled. It is the path that you have not taken previously. It is one that would potentially stir fear or discomfort within you. And the other path is a bit brighter, which is coming through to me as, you know, the path that may look easier or be more comfortable or may feel safer. And I do feel that this month for you is going to be one of those times where you're being asked to make a decision between what is familiar and what is not. Certainly, taking the path that is unfamiliar to you will lead to growth and evolution. It will lead to new experiences, and certainly could potentially get you off of let's say, repeating cycles that you may have been experiencing. Though this path is likely to call you to be courageous and have inner strength and stand in your convictions. You know, really, how do I say this? There's this energy, or like I'm getting the phrase of not folding. Okay, not folding, because it is easy to take the well-lit path, as it were, but that doesn't mean that it is going to be the path that is the best for you, right? So there is this energy of traveling through the darkness to get to a brighter place, to get to, let's say, the experience that may lead you to feeling more fulfilled. Okay. We have here as well, Lemuria creating heaven on earth. It's happening. Yeah, so, you know, based on what's coming through here with the initiation card and that energy of the two paths, yeah, it's kind of like, how do I say this? The risk is worth the reward. Now, certainly, I would encourage you to use your discernment and your intuition and make the choices that are best for you. It's imperative that you do that. However, there is this energy of taking some of the risks in order to get to this more fulfilled place, this place that feels more, let's say, heavenly, right? You are being given an opportunity, which is why I feel like we have this, it's happening, right? How do I say? I'm seeing it almost like a chessboard, or if you've ever seen like movies where they have those big maps and they're strategizing over, you know, things like war or stuff like that. That's how it's being shown to me. I do feel like things are being put in place for you. That's not to say that you won't experience challenges or obstacles or face fears, be uncomfortable. But I do feel that if you choose to, let's say, take the risk, there's a feeling of it being worth the reward, because things are being organized for you to help to bring about that fulfillment, right? That happiness, that feeling of heaven on earth. I do feel with Lemuria showing up here, and that word being specific on this card, I do feel as though there could be past life things that are coming up, past life fears that certainly could be or let me rephrase, could have the potential to deter you, if you will, from choosing that less traveled or uncomfortable path, 10:10 on the clock. But this is to complete a cycle, right? To bring things full circle. But the choice is, as always, yours. We do have the Two of Cups. Yeah, this is fascinating. So a lot of times readers, in a lot of cases, see this card as, like a card of marriage or proposals or things like this. And in this case, okay, because this is not a relationship or love reading. In this case, it's showing up to me as a means to unify the different sides of yourself. Okay, so the way I'm seeing these two hands here, one is dark, one is light, to unify all of the facets of yourself. I'm being very drawn to or reminded of the yin yang symbol. So I feel like there's an opportunity here for you to unify or bring more balance or harmony into, let's say, your masculine and feminine aspects, those different sides of yourself, okay, to connect the two, to bring, let's say, a little more balance into that duality. But again, there's this energy. So for example, with the feminine energy, right, it's very much connected to that feeling of feeling, or of flow and surrender and allowing, right? It's very intuitively led. With the masculine, it's more about taking action and being confident and being decisive and, how would I say, asserting yourself. And I feel like this is where that balance is trying to come in for you for this month, right? You're being given an opportunity to harmonize these two energies by dipping into those more natural or balanced aspects. Pretty powerful, actually. So we have here as well, actually, I'm going to put that here. We have Earth Star activation, anchoring, grounded action, Isis energy. Yeah, the thing of it is it's fascinating to me because there's this energy here with this particular card of, again, really pushing forward, taking that grounded action, but having the faith required, if you will, to create something that perhaps you have not yet had the experience of. Okay. It's interesting because I've had this deck for quite a while, and this is probably the first time that I've ever had this come in, even though I am very ancient Egyptian things have always been very fascinating to me. So with Isis, there's that story of her finding the different pieces of Osiris and putting them back together. Okay, you may have heard this story before. And I feel like this is what's happening here, right? Taking that path less traveled for you is giving you the potential to bring these pieces back together. Like I was saying, bringing more union, more harmony or balance into your experience. And I feel as though the means by which you're able to do that is, again, by choosing and taking action to travel that path that is unfamiliar, to not repeat the same cycles over and over again. And I do feel like continuing to repeat the same cycles or to choose the same path, if you will, it just keeps those bits of yourself fractured, right? This path may be uncomfortable. It may seem, scary or what have you, but it's facing what needs to be faced and addressing what needs to be addressed, dealing with what needs to be healed in order to bring these facets of yourself back together, to feel more complete, more fulfilled, more unified within. Okay? It's quite interesting that I've had that story come in because it's not one that I've actually experienced too frequently. We do have here for you as well Arcturian light codes, evolutionary downloads, recalling power, yep, and future thinking. So I am getting some fear coming up here for you. This overall energy, if I really want to oversimplify it, really, but if I want to simplify it, I feel like it's bringing back these different facets of yourself, recalling or reclaiming parts of who you are. Okay, and I do feel like this is what that is speaking to, or part of what it's speaking to, right? This puts you in a position to reclaim your power. Anything that you are not dealing with, anything that you are avoiding, anything that remains, let's say, unhealed or unpurified or unalchemized, I don't even know if that's a word, but it is now, holds power over you. And you may not, actually, I just saw 15:51 on the clock. And as soon as I saw the 15, it was reminding me of the devil energy, which, it is very egoic in nature. And, in one of the decks that I have, the devil actually has, this person, what appears to be this person's spirit on like puppet strings. And that's the thing of it. Your trauma, your wounding, the things that remain unhealed, or the things that you avoid or don't deal with, they have power over you. And you may not um, immediately recognize it as that. You may not see it that way, or it may not even cross your mind that there are these wounds that are impacting your current reality. However, it remains true. Okay, so for example, and this is just a very general example, okay? You may not resonate with this at all, and that's perfectly fine. But let's say something happened, in your childhood, and you saw some certain things, and, maybe it's something like, maybe you saw your parents bickering, and maybe, they got divorced or separated. And so then these, or seeing this, witnessing this, impacted how you feel about love. Okay. And perhaps this is something that you've just kind of, it doesn't bother me anymore, or, it's whatever, like you haven't really, or fully dealt with this, how this has impacted you. You haven't allowed yourself to feel what needs to be felt, in regards to that situation. And so now, perhaps there's a wall that's been put up between you and other people, because for you, relationships and loving somebody ends in separation, hurt, pain. So I feel like there is this aspect again of like the risk is worth the reward, or in other words, it's like look to the future. Certainly it may be painful to be dealing with these situations, facing these things that perhaps you've shoved under the rug, or tucked into a closet somewhere, or put in a box, however you would like to, or however you resonate with it. But the dealing with the discomfort now impacts you in the future. Okay, so it's kind of like that energy of choose your pain. Do you want to keep reliving the pain throughout the entirety of your life, or do you want to deal with the pain for however long that takes, and then have the ability to move forward, to experience something different, to feel maybe more fulfilled, more balanced, more harmonious? Perhaps your partnerships then can thrive. Okay, because that puppet is no longer behind the scenes controlling things. So again, the overall energy here, I feel, is to recall that power back to yourself, to help you to evolve further and allow you to face what needs to be faced now, so that it doesn't continue to impact you as you move forward. Really seems like, one of certainly, an overall energy for you this month, one of transformation. What else do we have? Joy. You delight in the love of life and bring a spirit of fun to all that you do. Yeah, I feel as though again, I know I'm going to sound like a broken record, but I keep being brought back to the whole concept of the risk being worth the reward. Because, ultimately, there are things, traumas, woundings, programmings that we hold that limits our ability to experience true, authentic, deep joy. Okay? Those moments that just completely overtake us. And many, if you had a conversation with many people, they would say those moments are few and far between, where it is this. And I'm not talking like surface level stuff here. I'm talking the deep joy that would, or rather could have the potential to shift your entire life. The joy and the fulfillment and the love of life that really could just take the feeling of, let's say, just living to being alive. Right? So I feel like what is taking place here for you this month is trying to encourage you, or is giving you the opportunity to not just be here on the planet existing, but to truly live and to love life deeply, to have a deep reverence for life and all of the things that you experience in it. But again, I feel like this, comes with the task of facing the things that perhaps you haven't wanted to, dealing with certain things that may be limiting you or may have been limiting you from having those deep experiences, to really truly appreciating life just for being alive. Yeah, you have evolution. You realize that the obstacles are merely lessons on your path to love. Again, like I was saying, this feels like an opportunity for you to take a big leap in your evolution, in your journey, in your growth. And when, again, facing those obstacles, those challenges, those fears, those traumas, those woundings is what allows us to evolve. 22:22 on the clock. It is what allows us to move forward. Okay? If everything was hunky-dory all the time, we would not grow. We wouldn't. Why would we need to? Why would we want to? Okay? And we would remain the same. Through the obstacles, the challenges, the trauma, the wounding, those are the things that give us this beautiful opportunity to appreciate the joy, the love, the happiness, the fulfillment. Okay? Without without the opposite, without the pain and the fear and the challenge, we would not appreciate things like love. So it is, it is through these things that we evolve. And I do feel, again, that the energy for you this month is giving you the opportunity to do that, to evolve, to bring home the pieces of yourself, to feel more fulfilled, and to ultimately, okay, I'm not saying this is going to happen overnight or even in the course of this month, but ultimately to bring you to a space of fulfillment where you, again, like it says on the joy card there, delight in love of life. You really can't make this up. You have harmony as well. You are able to feel a loving, balanced connection with everything. I mean, again, right? I mean, again, I mean, I really don't have anything else to add. It's like, if I keep talking about it, it's just going to be very repetitive and you're probably going to get really bored. But again, the whole purpose of this energy that's coming through for you for this month is to bring this joy, this harmony into your life, but it takes work to get there. Okay? It's as simplified, overly simplified as this is going to sound, right? You can't build a house without the foundation, right? You can't just wake up one morning and boom, there's the house. No, you have to go through all of the steps. You have to do all of the work, right? In order to put up the foundation, to, put up the bones, as it were, and to bring all of the pieces together. Similarly, okay, so again, I do feel as though, this is what is possible for you, or rather, this is what the energy is offering for you this month. But again, you're going to have to face those fears, that darkness, that uncertainty, that, walking the path less traveled, or the one that is uncomfortable or unfamiliar, in order to bring all of this together. You've got to do the work, okay? So what is coming to an end for you this month, Aries? We do have quite a few cards here. Starseed, what lights you up? Okay, so for some of you, I feel like the energy is going to encourage you to move away from anything that doesn't feel fulfilling to you. Okay, again, there's that energy of choosing one path over the other. And for some of you, I feel like that calling for fulfillment, for balance, for harmony, for joy, for having a different experience, to feeling more complete or unified within self, is likely to encourage you to walk away from anything that does not ignite excitement within you, that does not ignite passion within you. And I'm not talking about, people here. I'm talking about, though that may be applicable, I'm talking about, giving your energy, your time to things that don't feel meaningful. Because here's the thing. I feel like we are headed in a direction as a collective where surface level nonsense is not enough anymore. Okay? I feel like more and more people now, it's not everyone, it's not even close to everyone. Okay? This is a sliver, if you will, of the collective, but more and more people are feeling less and less satisfied with more surface level connections, surface level activities. It just, I feel like we're bored. It's not enough, right? There's, how do I say? I think we've had enough of the things that leave us wanting more, right? So I feel as though what's coming to an end is engaging in anything that doesn't really have meaning for you. Okay? And some people may take this as being callous or rude or selfish or, whatever the case may be. But if it's not fulfilling to you, I feel like you may find yourself asking, what's the point? You may find, conversations where people are gossiping or, in victim mentality, or what we might call like negativity, those sorts of behaviors. I feel like you're going to be very bored with them. Okay? Especially if this resonates with you. I feel like you would be like, what is the point? Why are we having this conversation? Why are we gossiping about the neighbors and the person down the street and yada, yada, yada? Like, what is the point? This feels like a waste of time to me. I could be doing something much more fulfilling. Okay? We do have the wheel here in the reverse. So it's very interesting because I feel like there's part of you that may have come to some kind of understanding where how do I say this? It's kind of interesting because I'm seeing this a couple of ways. One being, you may be coming to a space where you realize that the actions of other people and what they want from you and this, that, and the other is really out of your control. Okay? It's really out of your control. For some of you. For others of you, I feel that this feeling of helplessness is coming to an end, because I feel like you may be coming to an understanding where you realize that you have far more control over what you experience than what you may have believed previously. Now, the wheel is the number 10, which we did see 1010 for you as we were coming into the reading, or throughout this or during this reading, excuse me. So I do feel like there's a huge, huge sign here for you in regards to, the end of a cycle coming, being in a position or things aligning to put you in a space of renewal or some kind of rebirth. Of course, that's what we're going to be talking about here in a moment. But it certainly feels like you have the opportunity here to move forward, to move out of this space of feeling like you have no control, that you're just, how do I say? Okay, so the way it's being shown to me, Aries, is, almost as if you're standing still and the world is just spinning around you. Like it's actually very kind of, I don't know, dramatic. But it would be like the equivalent of like standing in the middle of a hurricane and then just watching everything spin around you, right? That feeling of, this is all out of my control, and not really feeling connected to any of the things that are spinning around you. It's just like, I don't know, it feels very kind of, like I said before, meaningless. And I feel like this may be coming to an end, because you may find that you are not helpless in this. Like, you don't just have to be standing there in the middle of all this chaos and just, being exposed to it. You have the opportunity to choose to, align with only that which lights you up, only that which makes you, joyful and happy, and that brings you more feelings of fulfillment. Now, I'm not saying that it should be like that all of the time, or that it even will be like that all of the time. But, you have the opportunity to choose. And so I feel like this feeling of helplessness for you, of just kind of being caught in this chaos, this storm of everything going on around you, may be coming to an end, because you may be now choosing to only align with that which has meaning for you, versus feeling like you're just in the midst of everything and have no control. It's like, actually, if I create boundaries, which is very natural or divine masculine, it's like, actually, I don't have to be a part of all this nonsense, right? You also have the 7 of Wands here. Yeah, so, here's the thing, funny. 7 of Wands is very much that kind of, I'm going to just, the feeling that I'm getting here is like, I'm just going to stand my ground kind of thing. Okay? So it's interesting, because I feel as though for some of you, this 7 of Wands represents how do I say this? So what's coming to an end? Interesting. Let me just back up a little bit. 10 or the wheel can be this, feeling of having no control, where the 7 of Wands can be this energy of maintaining control. So it's interesting, right? Again, I feel as though there's this what is coming to an end is, again, this feeling of like helplessness. I have no control. And instead, moving into a space where you are facing your fears and just standing your ground. Like, if it doesn't light me up, I'm not doing it. If it doesn't bring me joy and happiness, I'm not doing it. Regardless of how many wands are pointed at you. it's, you know, essentially like defending your position. I am doing these things for my own peace, for my own, you know, how do I say? Yeah, to have a sense of control in my life, even if you're surrendering, right? Even if you are choosing to take the path of least resistance and, you know, move into territory that may be uncomfortable or unfamiliar for you or even scary for you, it still is like I'm making my own choices in this. I'm not just being thrown about like a rag doll in life and just trying to constantly like recover, right? And just feeling incredibly unfulfilled. No, like that's ending now. Okay, this is quite fascinating, actually. Um, yeah, I really feel like what is coming to an end here for you is this whole like being tossed about and not defending your own, like your own peace, right? You also have here angelic frequency. Angels are here. You are safe, potent connection. It's interesting because sevens can be about faith. It's a very sacred number. And with the angelic frequency coming up here, I feel as though for some of you, it feels like you may have lost faith, or it had dwindled, or like maybe you were trying to like cling to faith. And it feels like this may be coming to an end for you. You may have gotten signs or had dreams or seen certain synchronicities or something, or maybe you've been seeing a lot of references to angels and the like, which is maybe bringing that feeling of almost like faithlessness to an end, or bringing this feeling of little faith, or of having little faith to an end. You may have even had something happen, um, or may have something happen this month where, how do I say this? It's almost like that angelic connection is like obvious, where you feel like, okay, this is God or this is the angels, like, you know, um, yeah, because it just, I don't know, it's very interesting. For some of you, I just really feel like if there was a feeling of faithlessness, or if you felt maybe very alone, it feels like that may be coming to an end for you, because it feels as though your angelic team, your guardian angel, whatever it is making their presence very obvious. This could be in your dream state, you know, during meditation, perhaps. It could be just that, again, like I said, you're getting signs or something. I will read the message from this card for you. Actually, I opened up right to it. My gosh. So it says here, angels are drawing close at this time. So be open to signs and synchronicities that confirm this. It's important for you to know that through your actions, choices, and service, you have upgraded your spiritual connection and your frequency. Rejoice, for you may be rewarded with abundance and blessings at this time. And you have been making choices that are not just for your own greater good, but for that of those around you. Your guardian angel is with you now, helping you remember your infinite power and potential. Reach for the stars and trust that all the efforts you have been making, both internally and externally, will bring blessings and opportunities. The path you are on is aligned to your highest good, and the support you need is there for you. You are cherished by the angels. So, okay, thank you. I just get this feeling that if you had felt alone previously, that may be coming to an end for you this month. Okay. We have here acceptance. You are ready to release control of situations or people and lovingly embrace the rhythm of life. Like I said, it feels like there was that energy coming in earlier, right where I said you may realize that how people are going to move about in their own experience or what they're going to say or feel or think or do is out of your control. But you are in control of you, and you get to choose what is best for you. Okay, because I feel, I don't know, for some of you, you may be coming to this understanding that even though we've been programmed or taught that it's selfish to focus on just ourselves, you may be coming to this understanding that when you take care of you, when you align with what you love, when you align with what is meaningful to you, when you align with your truth, not only are you doing yourself a service towards your evolution, towards your growth, towards your healing, but you're also being of service to humanity, because when you are functioning at your truth, when you're functioning in your purpose, when you're functioning at your best, or when you love yourself, you become almost like a pillar for others to do the same. Okay? So again, I really feel that, what's coming to an end here is trying to, like, I'll say, micromanage people around you. Transformation. You use the power of love to move through illusions and shift into awareness. Yeah. I feel like, again, that this is bringing me back to that kind of standing in the middle of the storm or the chaos. Because I feel like there once was for you this illusion that you had no control. But now that you are coming to this understanding about the power that you actually hold and your ability to create boundaries, and, however anybody else is going to feel about that is their problem, not yours. I feel like the illusions are coming to an end. Okay? Which is likely to, for some of you, you may have felt almost stagnant or like at a standstill. Okay. And I feel like that could be coming to an end, because it's like now you're kind of taking the reins, right? You're moving in your own life. And I feel like this is helping these illusions to come to an end and is allowing transformation to kind of get moving, right? I'm sorry you guys can't see. There we go. A little better. We have satisfaction. You let the energy of love guide you to self-approval so that others no longer define who you are. I mean, abso-freaking-lutely, right? And I feel like this is coming through because, again, like I was saying, there is this idea of whatever people are going to think or do or feel about your choices is what they're going, it's what they're going to do. You have no control over that. And to be quite frank, it's not your problem, right? I feel like there's this acknowledgement that if you want to experience satisfaction in life, you have to define yourself. You have to draw those lines in the sand. You have to be willing to make the choices that are best for you, regardless of how other people are going to respond to those or react to them, rather. Because again, I mean, we have this energy of joy and satisfaction showing up for you this month. And, all this energy of like creating heaven on earth and reaching the space of like unity and fulfillment and balance. And the only way that you can do that is if you are, for lack of better terms, dancing to the beat of your own drum. Okay. Finally, you have compassion. You demonstrate the language of the heart by actively sharing and living love. So this is quite interesting because I feel like for some of you, you may have found yourself angry before in some sense. Um, because it feels as though surely this could have stemmed from something that you've experienced in your life, right? Some kind of trauma or something. But it feels like there's a sense of anger because it was like not feeling like you were in the driver's seat of your own life. And I feel like it may have felt like other people or certain situations or something has been in the driver's seat. And it feels like that may be coming to an end. It feels like once you kind of sit down in that seat and once you start, driving your own life, as it were, I feel like that anger begins to dwindle. Okay, once you kind of reclaim these parts of yourself and take back your power, I feel as though this begins to dwindle, and I feel like you may even start. Now, certainly this may take some time, of course, but I feel like you may start being a bit more compassionate than maybe you were previously, not only towards yourself, but towards other people. Okay, but here's the other side of this. I also feel that for some of you, you may have been what, I don't even know if this is the right way to put it, but it feels almost like overly compassionate, or which again, I don't really know. I don't know if that's the best word for it, but you may have been kind of like letting people just walk all over you because you felt bad for them or their situations or whatever the case may be, and you may have let them kind of stomp all over your boundary lines and things like this. And I feel like, though it's a beautiful thing to be loving and caring and compassionate towards other people, when it's toxic to you, right, or it becomes detrimental to you, that's something that needs to be addressed. And I feel as though for some of you, that kind of, I feel like that may be coming to an end. Okay, that's interesting because I don't know that I've ever got that. So what is being rebirthed, renewed, or is beginning for you this month, Aries? You, holy biscuits and gravy, you do have transformation. I mean, here it is again. Things are changing at a cellular level and deep healing. So like I said here, right, you may have felt like you were kind of at a standstill, and I did get the energy of like a crossroads. Two of Cups is also, or rather twos, let me rephrase, is also a number of choices. So again, I do feel that what is beginning or being renewed or rebirth for you is this healing, first of all, is taking place, drawing these pieces of yourself back together. And I feel that transformation has begun again. Okay, it just, like, I'm seeing it as like the wheel has started moving, right? Like things have started moving forward for you again. So certainly, how do I feel like, for some of you, you may resonate with what is beginning for you, like the healing process is beginning or beginning again. Or that there are aspects of you, Aries, that are being renewed. And as that fiery sign that you are, Aries energy on the more positive aspect, if you will, tends to be, very direct and brave and fearless and very independent and this kind of natural leader. And for whatever reason, you may have experienced things in your life where that has kind of been smothered, right? And so I feel as though those attributes may be being ignited once again. Okay. We also have here for you, Pleiades, double mission, channeling and uplifting humanity. I mean, like I said here, right? I feel like some of you are coming to this understanding that you can be of service to other people, or you are best for other people when you are best for yourself, when you are giving to yourself. Okay. So I do feel like there is this, how do I say this? For some of you, yeah, there's like this purpose within you that is being stirred. Okay. And this may, for some of you, have something to do with uplifting humanity in some way, shape, or form. Now, certainly that could be some form of channeling, or, some form of, I mean, really anything psychic or mystic, intuitive ability, though it's not limited to that. Certainly, you could just find that by you reconnecting with you and your truth, that you just become this kind of walking example of how people can experience life when they choose to align with what is true for them at a soul level, when they choose to create boundaries where they're needed, and the peace that can come with that, the fulfillment that can come with aligning with your joy, with choosing sometimes the path that looks the scariest of all. I feel like, you essentially, you could be taking a position as that natural leader, and like I said, showing others, or giving them permission by living, by being a living example of what is possible when you allow yourself to be transformed, when you allow yourself to heal, when you allow yourself to be uncomfortable. We have here as well, warrior woman, have you answered your deepest calling? Yeah. I mean, come on now. All right, we're talking about this more leader mentality, right? Um, so I'm getting a couple of things. One, I feel like what's beginning here is you are likely to be, again, I mean, this is like a reiteration of what took place over here, but cutting away the things that just don't feel that they resonate with you deeply. Okay? They don't feel meaningful to you. It's like I'm kind of seeing it as like, um almost like if you were walking through, I don't know, like a field or something with a machete, and you're just like cutting down all of this stuff that just isn't working, right? That just isn't serving you on a deep level. It's not something that fulfills you or brings joy, or is conducive to your growth or your healing or your evolution. It's like, I don't need this, I don't need this, I don't need that, I don't need this person or that person, right? I also feel as though, again, like I was talking about here, some of you may be finding yourself very drawn to some sort of path as a leader, right? Or to something that has you being of some kind of service to humanity. Now, that may not mean you're in front of hundreds or thousands of people. It can mean a multitude of things. We all have our role to play here. But I feel as though, whatever this may be for you, it seems like this month's energy could be stirring that within you, which makes so much sense, because as I shared, or at least I hope I shared in the beginning, before we started with the cards, this 8 month, universal 8 month, brings a focus on that universal connectedness and collective humanity, right? What affects one affects us all. So I do feel that interconnectedness may be coming to the surface, right? As you sink more deeply, if you will, into your soul's true essence, into answering that deepest calling. But I do feel for you that some of you, how do I say this? So interestingly enough, right, in the tarot, Aries, you're represented by the Emperor. And I'm getting those vibes here, because I feel like what is being renewed is like you being the leader of your own life. And I know this may be very repetitive, but I'm actually seeing it shown as you like stepping out of the crowd, like, this is my life, I'm going to do these things, and that's it. Right? Like, how do I say this? Almost like claiming your place as the leader of your own life, as the main character of your own life. Knight of Wands. Yep. Certainly. Knight of Wands. Because of course, like, this is that very confident, adventurous, daring kind of energy. Again, like, I feel like this is being rebirthed in you, where you're taking that center stage of your own life. You're taking the lead of your own life, embodying more of that Aries energy of fearlessness. Right? I feel like this is being stirred within you, because I feel like there's this, it's almost as if someone went in and like flicked the switch. You're like, holy shit. Pardon my language, but it's just like all of a sudden the lights came on and you're like, oh, right. I mean, again, I'm not saying that it's going to be easy. Facing your fears is not easy. Facing any kind of trauma or wounding or any of that is not easy. It's really freaking hard. But I feel like, again, it feels like that switch within you is that the risk is worth the reward. Like, oh, me living this thing over and over and over and over again and repeating the same stuff year after year after year, moment after moment after moment, like, it feels like it's made life so unfulfilling that it's like, I would much rather just face this head on than repeat that crap again, right? And it's interesting because she's playing a drum, and what did I say? Dancing to the beat of your own drum now. We also have here Chamber of the Violet. I mean, here we go again. Transformation for the third time, right? Chamber of the Violet Flame, karmic release, radical transformation. Yes, I feel like people who think they know you, once this stirring, if you will, get some energy behind it, right? It's flowing. I feel like people who think they know you would be like, wow, you are so different. What happened? Like, I feel like people will feel this change within you. They will see it within you, because I do feel like it is likely to be quite radical indeed. The way you carry yourself may change. The way you dress, the way you speak. I mean, I feel like even eye contact. I was actually just shown, like, staring somebody in the eyes, because I feel like there's this, again, this claim over your own life. And I feel like it really does create this radical transformation within you. So, I'm not saying that, that this is necessarily going to kind of find its completion just through this month alone. Don't fear. I'm getting some fear coming up. Don't fear. That doesn't mean it's not going to happen. Okay? But I do feel like if you were to pursue this thread, if you were to, walk that path, that unknown path, I would be surprised if you did it consistently and, to the best of your ability, and we're just trying to work through the things. If, like, this time next year, people are like, I have no idea who you are anymore. Like, and you may find yourself, like, not wanting to associate with anybody that you associated with previously. I'm just going to be honest. Because I feel like it changes your entire outlook on life. And of course, maybe that's not for everyone, but the opportunity is there, certainly. And I think it is this release here, right? Because it says karmic release. And what is that? It's like the wheel, doing the same stuff over and over and over. And I feel like that's what you're done with. It's like, I'm done doing all this stuff again and again and again. We do have patience here. I knew, I had a feeling, right? Because like I said, I'm not saying that this is going to be, come full circle in just the course of the month. But that doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. And there is this need for patience. It says you are able to let there's that word again, the universal energy of transformation. So there it is now. For how many times do we have it? 1, 2, 3, 4 times now. Move according to its own loving rhythm. Okay, so I'm going to read that again. You are able to let the universal energy of transformation move according to its own loving rhythm. Again, there's this energy of flowing, of surrendering, of taking the path that is unfamiliar or risky or what have you, but having patience with yourself as you move, as you do that, as you learn how to surrender, as you learn to follow your own inner calling, or as you implement that into your life more and more and more. Okay, so I do feel like, and as somebody with a young Aries, I know that they can tend to be quite impatient. But I feel like, again, the more in the driver's seat of your own life you are, and the more you're surrendering, I feel like the more patient you will become. So I do feel like this is potentially being birthed within you, or is beginning within you, and it may be something that you might say, oh yeah, that's not something that I've been really good at in the past. But again, this is radical transformation. And I feel like there's almost this acknowledgement of like, I didn't get here in this place where I need this healing in one day, which we just had 1 hour, 1 minute, 1 second on the timer. So that's kind of funny, right? This didn't just happen in one day. It took time. So it's likely to take me a bit of time to deal with all of these things. So what wisdom will best support your healing, growth, and evolution? Get grounded. Isn't that funny? Empaths, highly sensitives connect with nature. You do have grounded action here and anchoring. So I think that's pretty interesting. I feel like that wisdom is for you to, I feel like it feels like grounding into your own energy, because I feel like you may have been rather disconnected from it for quite some time. You may have had all these other influences around you. Maybe it's, romantic interests, maybe it's family, maybe it's friends, maybe whatever it is for you. It feels almost like all these hands in the pot, and you just maybe didn't even feel like yourself at all. Or maybe it just felt like few and far in between. Did you feel like you had a real grip on you? And so, it feels like getting grounded in your own energy. Okay, because I feel like I don't know why, it just feels like you've been like, okay, follow me here for a minute. It feels like you've been like 7-Eleven, and everybody's had all this access 24/7, right? And their energy has been influencing yours constantly. Now, maybe not all of you resonate with that, but it feels like there's this need for you to get grounded in what is your own energy. And that may be why there's such a call here for you to draw the lines in the sand. Like, listen, everybody back off, because I need to get into my own stuff. I need to take charge of my own life. And in order to do that, I have to figure out who I am, what I want, without all of these other influences. Right? Yeah. Yeah. And for some of you, I feel like you like I'm seeing it kind of like a some kind of like tote bag or something. But I'm seeing it as like all these people putting all their problems in your tote bag, and you're just carrying around all these problems. Right? So I do feel like the wisdom for you is to get in your own energy, draw some of those boundaries, and stop taking on all of other people's crap. Okay? Yeah, you do have the Four of Cups. That's that energy of being disconnected, right? So I do feel like the wisdom that's best support, will best support you, is to get grounded in your own energy, get reconnected with who you are. Take that time to, what is the word? Really to go within and to contemplate, right? Even it's very interesting because this girl on the woman on the Four of Cups here is sitting by herself, and she's outside. Clearly there's trees and grass and things. There are leaves down here. So, it does feel, yeah. Let me, you guys, I'm getting so much stuff right now. You can see here, there's all of these empty cups. that she's kind of like looking at, like, my gosh. And, you know, a lot of times this is seen as like a spoiled brat kind of energy. But currently, the way that I'm looking at this is very intuitive, and it's being shown to me in the sense of, you know, all of these people, you've been dumping your energy into all these cups, and people have just been taking and taking and taking, but you haven't really given back to yourself, right? You haven't been focused on your own cup, your own energy. And again, I feel like the wisdom here is for you to reconnect with that, to contemplate on your own energy, to figure out what your own energy signature is, what that frequency is. And once you get to know your own energy, you know, I feel like things will make a lot more sense. A lot more pieces will start coming together. And that feeling of being disconnected could fade. But it's like, take the time to go within. We have Orion activation, supernova, recreation, renewal, rebirthed by light. I mean, so yeah, the wisdom here for you is, you know, I feel like you're being renewed, right? I feel like these pieces of yourself are coming back together. I'm actually very drawn to that recreation as well. And with that Isis energy, right, those pieces coming back together, bringing Osiris back to life, essentially. You know, I feel like that's what's taking place here for you. And here's the thing I want to say. I feel like the wisdom that's coming through with this card is, if you think about that, okay, like the pieces of Osiris being brought back together, certainly that probably wasn't painless. Or you could even compare it to like physical birth. It's not painless, okay? So I feel like there's a need to have that understanding, to be compassionate for yourself, to be patient with yourself, and to acknowledge like there's something big here, right? We have supernova. We have something big going on here, big changes, big transformation that is very likely to stir fear within you, and that's okay. All right, so we also have respect. You value everyone's unique perspective on the path to love. I feel like the wisdom that will best support you from here, how do I say this? You may find that the more you uncover your truth, your true essence, the more you are able to come to terms with and acknowledge and accept that you basically have not been, let's say, in the driver's seat of your own life, or that, you know, you've been scattered about, you know, the bits of yourself have been scattered about. I feel like your understanding of other people, right, as you address your own healing, your own trauma, your own wounding, I feel like your, let's say, analysis of other people, your understanding of other people changes. It shifts. I feel as though you may find this deep respect growing for other people because you recognize that pain, you've experienced that within yourself. Okay? So you may start to perceive people around you and certain their paths much differently. Okay. I also feel here that some of the wisdom to share with you is addressing that, in the sense that there's this need to remember to respect everyone else's path. Especially as you uncover certain things in your life. So just as an example, when throughout my healing, my own healing, you know, I would have certain things come up and I would be like, oh wow, like that's actually healing that I need to do. And finding out that it stems from childhood experiences. You know, there was a time where I did have to sit back and really find compassion for the journeys of those that have had influence in my life. Okay? So I don't know why, but I feel like I need to speak on that. But there's a need here just to acknowledge and respect everyone's unique path, including your own. Okay? You're not meant to be like everyone else. You know, society tries to like cookie cutter us all. But we're not meant to be like everyone else. Okay? Finally, you have integrity. You demonstrate the truth, beautiful, and honesty of your soul and manifest love with your every action. So I feel like this is a big, big message for you closing out this reading, Aries, because I feel as though the wisdom that will best support your healing, growth, and evolution is for you to, as it says here, demonstrate the truth and honesty of your soul with your every action. Because again, I feel like this is the, how would we say, almost that key, if you will, which is going to create tremendous transformation. Okay? Because I feel as though there has been, and maybe you relate with or resonate with this, maybe not, but I feel as though there has been a large portion that have denied their truths, denied what they know deep within is true for them, their path, their purpose, you know, whatever they believe and feel or know within them. And, you know, I feel like this is, again, like the biggest chunk of wisdom. Like this one has almost like, it's like a neon sign to me, right? Because I feel like it's a key factor in your evolution. It is a key factor to you finding that harmony, that joy, that satisfaction. It is a key factor to creating that union within self, is by acknowledging and demonstrating or embodying the truth and honesty of your soul. Good golly, Aries. I certainly feel like October has, I mean, it really feels like it has massive potential for you to get the ball rolling, right? To really start to transform your life in tremendous, tremendous ways. I mean, again, like I shared earlier, I feel like if you were to, you know, keep working in this way, you know, with what's come through here, next year you may not look the same at all, feel the same at all. Okay. And again, that's not to say that you won't experience challenges or obstacles or face fears or, you know, that it's going to be just a walk in the park, because that would be a lie. But it certainly appears to me as though everything is being orchestrated in your favor, should you choose to walk that path that you have never walked before. I want to thank you so very much for being here with me, Aries. I pray that something here has resonated for you or been helpful for you in some way, shape, or form as you navigate October. If it has, please do the YouTube things by liking, sharing, commenting below, or subscribing to the channel. It really does help me to grow, and I truly, truly appreciate it, because it tells YouTube that there may be something else here that is valuable for someone. And that, of course, is one of my biggest goals. So thank you so very much for doing that. Have a expansive month. I pray that you're able to align with the things that are best for you, that feel true for you, even if they're a bit scary, even if the path is unknown. I pray that you're able to do that, and that what you find, should you embark on that journey, be nothing but an abundance of joy and harmony and what we might call heaven on earth. Take care of your evolving, powerful, wise soul. Peace be with you and within you, and I hope to see you again on the next one. Bye.